In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the episodes from the Penguins of Madagascar series called Maurice at Peace. Now, before I get into talking about this episode, I just want to say welcome back to my channel, Drawing Stories and More, where I do how to draw videos and I read stories, and I talk about different famous cartoon characters and movies and series I like as well, like this one. So without further ado, let's talk about the episode Maurice at Peace. Now, the episode starts with these two monkeys that live in the zoo sneak into one of the zookeeper's office, and this fax comes in saying, Maurice, you only have 24 hours to live, and then the ink is run. So the monkeys, thinking that it's referring to King Julian's advisor, Maurice, they take it to the penguins, thinking that the fax means that Maurice only has 24 hours to live. And there's even this one part where Kowalski licks the paper, and he's like, yep, it's paper. And I'm like, of course it's paper, crazy. Of course it is. So I don't know what Kowalski was thinking there, but I've actually seen that there is this craft you can do where you can make some kind of, I think it's kind of like that edible stuff they put on cakes, like when they make those really big fancy cakes, like big giant wedding cakes or something. I think it's some kind of candy like that you can make into look like paper. So maybe Kowalski thought it was like that, but I don't know. But anyway, so the zoo animals gather around and the penguins reveal the bad news. And when Julian finds out about this, he is of course very upset, saying that he doesn't want to lose his best friend, which I do think that if anyone would be Julian's best friend, it would be Maurice, because they did seem very close in Julian's series All Hail King Julian, but for some reason things are not like that anymore. Seems like they're only close in that and nothing else. So anyway, Kowalski says that someone needs to tell Maurice about this, but Marlene suggests that they shouldn't tell Maurice, that they should just let him have the best day he's ever had, since, you know, it seems like it's going to be his last day. And the animals agree, and that's what they do. So, when Maurice gets back, he notices that everyone is acting really, really weird. And meanwhile, the penguins wish that they could do something to help Maurice, and Kowalski says that there's this flower that they think could be the cure. And they're trying to figure out where they can get this flower, and there's this billboard that has the flower on it, and Rico's trying to get his brother's attention so they'll see it, and when he finally does, they go to the florist shop to get it, and they try several times to get in. There's this one thing that they try and do. They try, and now I don't really understand why they thought this would work, which it doesn't, but they catapult for Private, or at least try to catapult him inside the mail slot. And I'm like, why would you do that? I mean, come on. But anyway, they also try to pick the lock with a fish, with fish bones, and that doesn't work, which I don't know why they didn't just use a paper clip, because in the Penguins movie, when they break out of this cage, Rico hawks up a paper clip and picks a lock, and they're free. So unless Rico just didn't have a paper clip with him, or in him more likely. Then they try and lower Kowalski through an opening in the roof, and he bumps into this flower, which makes him sneeze, and he bumps into these cactuses. And I'm guessing Kowalski might have had an allergic reaction to the flower, because he sneezes a couple times, and it's like uncontrollably. So I'm thinking it was either maybe pollen or an allergy. I think it was probably an allergy, but anyway. So they pull Kowalski out, and he is covered in cactuses, and he screams, obviously. Oh boy. I wonder how long it took them to get those spines out of him. But anyway, so Julian and Mort are trying to do their very best for Maurice, to give him the best last day. But they end up driving him crazy. He just wants to rest, and they're not letting him. But there's one part where Maurice does seem to be enjoying himself, but things get out of hand. Oh boy. So anyway, then the penguins try something else. They get this crane and drop it inside the floor shop and completely destroy the place. And while they're doing that, Private's like, oh brother. So he slides over, grabs the flower, and shows it to his brothers. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys completely destroyed that place. And oh my goodness. I'm sure there had to be another way for them to get in there. Or maybe, I mean, if they still have the jetpacks from the movie, why don't they just use those to get to the places where the flower grew? I mean, that might have been interesting too, to see them in another setting other than New York City. But anyway, or even if they didn't have the jetpacks, maybe Kowalski could have made something. Anyway, so yeah, they take the flower back to Maurice, but while Julian and Mort were dancing, Maurice falls over and they think he's dead. And the penguins realize that they got there too late, and poor Kowalski even starts crying. But then Maurice lets out a snore, and Julian's like, he's still breathing, quite loudly. I love it when Julian says that. So then the truth is revealed, that the fax actually was a vacation note or something like that for one of the zookeepers whose name was also Maurice. So they realize that one, it wasn't even for Maurice to begin with, and well, both Maurices are okay. And then once Julian realizes this, he tells Maurice that he's only going to give him 24 hours to live after what he put him through. Which, I don't know if Julian would have did that in his series, if, this thing had have happened in the series. But anyway, I really would like to know what the deal is with Julian and Maurice, especially in this, because, like I said before, they were really close in Julian's series, but not so much now. But anyway, I gotta admit, I do like that they, tried to make Maurice's so-called last day, as best as they could. But also, thankfully, that Maurice wasn't gonna die to begin with. So yeah, that's the episode, and I think it's really good. It's actually one of my favorite episodes, actually. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more.